All right, here with Governor Huckabee. You're looking great, by the way, looking
Thank you.
fantastic.
It's great to be with you.
Love your TV show.
Thank you. A lot of
And
fun.
you didn't get glitter bombed on the way in, did you?
Hopefully not. I'm being very careful not to be glitter bombed because just don't want to have to dig that stuff out of what little
Yeah.
hair I have left.
Hey, worse things can happen. That's why I don't understand the Occupy people. It's like glitter looks good. Most people
Yeah.
look good in glitter. What are they doing? What are they talking about? All right, so presidential race. I know you have a new book out. We'll talk about that. But
Yep.
the race, I know you're watching this very carefully. Let me ask you one thing. A lot of our listeners are wondering, too. Do you regret possibly not running this year?
No, I really don't. And part of the reason is I think it's a very, very contentious primary. One that is focused a whole lot more on being mad at the Democrats than it is on solving problems. And I'm not sure that's the best venue for me. And so, you never regret when you do something that you believe in your heart of hearts is really that which you're comfortable with spiritually and what you believe is the will of God for your life. And so for me, it's not something I look back and say, oh, wow, I could have. I don't think of it in that term at all.
Back in 2008, one of the things that you were so admired for and continue to be admired for is putting a face on conservatism that is open, that reaches out to people in a positive way so that you can actually sell the conservative message, if in fact that's the right terminology, to people who otherwise wouldn't go near a Republican.
Well, and one thing I do fear about the current atmosphere in the primary is that we're not communicating our message in an effective way to people who are unemployed and to people who have lost their homes. And I think that's something the Republicans have got to do a better job of. We've been so focused on how angry we are at Obama, and I understand that, but that's not enough to win an election. So one of the things that I'm hoping is going to happen is that we'll start focusing on what are the solutions and that we show that the Republican ideas and true conservative values, that's what's going to empower people to get jobs again. That's what will empower them to be able to keep their homes rather than be forced out of them through foreclosure.
I'll tell you, Republicans could learn a lesson from 2004 when there was so much anger towards President Bush that even those of us who supported him thought, boy, there's no way he could possibly win re-election,
Yeah.
and he did.
Yeah. It's tough to beat an incumbent president, and I think Republicans are going to have to just sort of buckle up and be prepared for a long haul. And first of all, Obama's going to have more money than any candidate in the history of this country's ever had. Secondly, the media is going to be on his side. They will shred the Republican, whoever it is, and they will do everything they can to protect Obama with a cocoon of protection and surround him with their insulation. And then it's going to be that a lot of the people who will ultimately decide the election, they're not paying attention to the primary. They won't pay attention until the final 4 to 6 weeks. And that's when it's going to have to count. And Republicans had better have a message to say, here's why we're different, and here's how it will be good for you.
And you're not endorsing anybody at this point.
No, I'm not. I don't anticipate that I'll endorse during the primary. And it's not for lack of interest. It's that I want to be in a position where I can be more objective in evaluating when I think a candidate is saying something that's good, or maybe when a candidate is saying something that I think needs improvement. Once you endorse, you lose any sense of being able to say that credibly. And so my feeling is this. I won't endorse in the primary. Once we have a nominee, then I'm going to be doing everything I can to help that person get elected. Because I want our nominee to be someone who knows that I didn't take a side against them before they got the nomination. And I think that's going to be an important role that I can play.
And you want the nominee to be as knowledgeable as possible. I mean, I think that it would be worthwhile for them to read your book. Any one of them.
Absolutely, but especially the most recent one. Just came out in a paperback edition called Simple Government. And gosh, I wish all the candidates, and I wish Obama would read A Simple Government, because the government that he's helping create is not only complicated, but it's disgustingly and prohibitively expensive. And it doesn't have to be that way. And that's what the book is about.
And very briefly, I know you're here for Ann Wagner. There are some who believe that the keys to any kind of conservative victory, or at least getting anywhere in terms of reducing the smaller government and realizing some of the dreams in your book, is through the legislative branch.
Well, it's so critical. And a person like Ann, who's had real-world experience in so many ways, and she's been effective and successful at everything she's ever done, whether it's in business or whether it's been as an ambassador. She understands the world stage. She's been chairman of the state party. She's been co-chair of the RNC. She understands politics. There's nothing about Ann's background that does anything other than uniquely prepare her to be an incredibly strong, effective Congresswoman. And I think if anybody's ever been around Ann, they know that nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to push her around. And they also know that nobody is going to get her off the core of her convictions and values, which is one of the reasons that I enthusiastically want to help someone like Ann go to Congress.
Governor Huckabee, rock on.
Thanks.
Great to see you
here.
again. Yeah, good to see you. Okay, take care. Thank you again.
You bet.